Today is my first day of talking about it. I needed to get this Omni thing out first. Don't worry and enjoy your dinner, Connor said comfortingly. Dinner was a 5-star event. Virtuoso and Bioforce had to give the rest of the team a crash course in which fork to use first. Connors thought the whole thing a little silly, but also thought it important to mark this milestone for his team. After the meal was over, Glimmer was quick to spend more time with Midas. I remember the time Kodiak said you could only have a name someone else gave you. Is that still true? Glimmer asked. Yes, I guess so, Midas answered. Well, I think you may need a grander name than Midas. It's the name of a greedy king who had to learn a lesson the hard way. I don't think it's the superhero name of an Omni. Midas hadn't thought about his name like that before. You brought this up because you have a name in mind, right? I do, and I'll tell you what it is if you promise not to laugh. I've seen you fight in the pit. I wouldn't laugh. You'd hurt me. Glimmer laughed at Midas' jokes again. All right, the name I was thinking of is Cosmos. Why Cosmos? As an Omni that can control matter and energy, one day you will be able to do anything, and Cosmos means everything. Other people give you names and you have to pick, correct? That's what I agreed to. Well, if no one gives you a better name, please consider mine, Glimmer said with smiling eyes. Your attention, please, Dr. DeClute said. Teams in training, say goodnight and see your coaches before going back to the dorms. To everyone else, we encourage you to stay as long as you like. Midas smiled at Glimmer and said, I'll think about the name. Good night. Good night. First team gathered around Connors. Darkspeed, take them back to the dorm and enjoy the things I have waiting for you there. Then have them in bed in the next hour. Don't forget, everyone still has... He finished. Yes, Coach, Darkspeed said. Virtuoso teleported the group back to their dorm. What things? She said as she started to look around. Here, look! Darkspeed found 6 books spread across one of the tables in the back of the common room. They look like scrapbooks. Hey, that's when we first got here, she noted. There's one for each of us, Bioforce said. Look in the back, Olympian burst out. It's signatures from all the superheroes that were here tonight. Wow, this is so cool. It's like a collector's dream. That is cool, Virtuoso said. You know, this means we all need to get our costumes done, Virtuoso said. Mine is done, Midas said. Did you like it? Black and gold is supposed to be reserved, I thought, Bioforce said. Coach says that Omni reserved it for the next Omni. That's me. I still can't believe our anchor is an Omni, Olympian said. I am, and isn't your costume finished too? I might do some improvements or something, but mine's pretty much the way I like it, Olympian agreed. Then we need to start with colors, Darkspeed said. Mine's red. It's kind of a family tradition, she said. Are you going to keep your armor black? Darkspeed asked Olympian. Sure, gives me that dreaded going to beat you up look. Oh, please, Virtuoso said. Okay, artsy girl, what colors are you going to use? I'm not sure. I was thinking of something golden for my costume, Bioforce said. But Midas kind of has a monopoly on the whole gold thing. I may not keep the name Midas, he said. Why not? Darkspeed asked. Well, it is the name of a greedy king that was taught a lesson, right? It just doesn't sound very Omni-ish. Well, I guess not. Did you have another name in mind? I was thinking Cosmos. What do you guys think? Does Cosmos sound like a good Omni name? Give me a second. Olympian grabbed something out of the refrigerator while thinking. Cosmos saved a bus of nuns from certain doom. Help me, Cosmos. You're my only hope. Thank you for saving my life, Cosmos. I like Olympian better, but Cosmos is definitely better than Midas. You can be such a goof, Bioforce said. He's right, though. Cosmos is a better name, she admitted. What about she? If your name means 4, don't you have to come up with a different name? Olympian asked. I have a name. It's waiting for me when my father retires. When will that be? Ask him. He's not my dad, you ask him, Olympian responded. Wait a second. Joseph, are you still sticking with the someone else picks the name thing that Kodiak was talking about? Virtuoso asked. I guess so, Midas answered. Then who picked the name? I don't think it was one of us. Does it matter? She perked up and asked. I think it does. Who suggested the name? You already know who, Virtuoso thought to she. Look at him not answer the question, she thought back. If he doesn't want to answer, he doesn't have to, Darkspeed said. Was it Glimmer? Olympian asked. What? Glimmer? Bioforce asked. I saw her talking to him for like half the night, Olympian said. Glimmer? The invisible stealth sword-wielding turbo assassin Ice Queen She's arch-rival Glimmer? Hey, Midas said. She's not my arch-rival anymore, She pointed out. Okay, then replace the arch-rival part with social climber, Bioforce added. Hey, don't be mean. She's been nice to me, Midas said. Of course she would be, Olympian said. John, don't say anything hurtful, Virtuoso cautioned. Yeah, do you think Orbit is interested in you because of your good grades? Bioforce asked. You're one to talk. You keep following Achilles around like a puppy dog. He's almost 10 years older than you, and he's 1.5 feet taller than you. You have a crush on Achilles? She asked. I don't have a crush, Bioforce yelled. This is why Connor said no dating inside of the team. That would be so bad, Darkspeed said in a medium tone. I'm not saying Achilles would be a bad pick. It's just that he is older, she said plainly. What do you mean pick? Midas asked. Dude, I can tell you were not raised in a super family. Why do you think Glimmer is interested in you? Olympian asked. Because she likes me? Maybe, or is it because you're an Omni? No, we checked her out earlier, Virtuoso said. She actually liked him before. Even then he was a 10+ matter manipulator. That's rare enough, Olympian said. What does that have to do with anything? Midas asked. Joseph, she's a breeder, Olympian said. Midas wasn't sure he liked the sound of that word, or what it meant. What do you mean by that? Olympian threw his head back and made a frustrated noise. Who here doesn't know what I mean? Only you and she did, and now I do too, Virtuoso said. She put a hand up to tell Olympian to be quiet. Breeder is a slang term used among superpowered families. It usually means someone who consciously tries to marry and have children with someone of equal or greater genetic potential. Joseph, you're an Omni. Your genetic potential is above everyone's. You're like the holy grail for breeders, Olympian said. She likes me because I'm an Omni? Midas was visibly upset. No! That's why we checked her out. We wanted to make sure she really liked you. Otherwise, we would have told you, Virtuoso said. Jilly told you not to say anything hurtful, she said to Olympian. Just calling them like I see them, Olympian said. You're one to talk. How about you, the way you used the trip to Greece to introduce your sisters and brothers to everyone on the team? I have super hearing, and I heard the conversations going around. It was like you were trying to set up a few of your breeder sisters, she said. At least I know what I am. Ask yourself if Shogun married the smartest stealth in Japan on accident. You have the best of both of them inside of you, because your father was a breeder. That's enough. I think you two need to calm down before you say something that's hard to take back, Bioforce said. I'm only saying what people think but are too afraid to say. If you want alpha level kids, you need to marry alpha level. Look at all the other teams who have gone through here. This is where supers meet supers from around the world. My brother just went to a wedding for a couple alphas that met here. You were raised in an HU hall. Tell me I'm wrong. She said nothing. Virtuoso looked at her and knew what Olympian said was true. That's how it really is, isn't it? Virtuoso said. So when you said Achilles would be a good pick, you weren't thinking about my feelings. You were thinking about my DNA? Bioforce asked. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I was just saying that the two of you would complement each other, she said. Hannah, you've been studying super DNA. You know she's right, Olympian said. This sounds medieval, like arranged marriages or something. What about love and just falling for the right person? Bioforce said. My parents will arrange my marriage. I can give them some help, but the final say is theirs, Olympian said. What about you, Jet? Will your father pick someone from Alpha for you? Virtuoso looked at She and heard her thoughts. Oh my! Virtuoso gasped and continued. Shogun's a racist. What? Bioforce blurted out. He's not a racist, She said as she jumped to her feet. You're jumping to conclusions. Take it back. You know your father will only let you marry someone who's Japanese. Tell me that's not true, Virtuoso said. My father never said such a thing to me. He never told me I had to do anything. If you're going to read my mind, make sure you read the whole truth. Virtuoso looked at She and read her mind. I take it back. I'm sorry I called your father a racist. It's not your father's Shogun that's the racist. It's the legend Shogun. What does she mean? Midas asked.